Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, hopefully that works. All right, let me testing 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I'm having a bit of an issue with the headphone here. Let's try this again. Testing 1. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, I think I'm just going to switch to that one. And okay, all right, so that looks like that's working now. Hopefully you folks can hear me. Yep, thank you, Gwen. I appreciate that. All right, let me get that to where we're looking at the drill press there. All righty. Yeah, I've got it on my speakers on here, but I tried to switch the microphone onto these as well, and that didn't work, so I'm back to the laptop microphone. So, excuse me for that. All right. So, I'm doing reasonably well. I unfortunately seem to be going through the migraine rebound, so I can see clearly, I can think clearly, I just have a really bad headache. But there's no reason I can't do this. Went ahead and pre-drilled all of these ahead of time, so don't have to worry about that. Though I did forget to pre-deploy the tape. And at some point, my wife might drop in with dinner for me. The plan for dinner tonight was food trucks, and I just don't fill up to moving around. I was out earlier doing constable work, which kind of threw my schedule off, but I was surprised they had work for me this close to going on vacation, but they did. I got it mostly taken care of. They had some evictions for me that I had to pass on because by the time they were ready to be served, I would be on vacation and did not relish the thought of driving all the way across the state to perform some evictions. So they turned that over to another constable. So I'm doing reasonably well there. Okay. It's actually not Gatorade, though it is colored similar. This is the previous place I used to work. They did a lot of safety type programs, which I am thoroughly behind because working in a machine shop, I would like to keep all my fingers and toes and no major injuries. So that was the, they wanted us to, take charge of our safety. If we saw anything that we felt was unsafe, we were to make sure to let people know and not use it if we don't feel safe doing that. And I've actually had that where I've had to do that. I was doing a punch press where I would take, there were two buttons that you had to press simultaneously to get the press to activate. So we were stamping on these little brass hexagons. So I'd pick one up, I'd put it in, I'd take my hand back, I'd press both buttons, it would cycle the press, I'd lift my hands off, I'd reach in, I'd grab the brass hexagon and put it aside and repeat the process. Well, as I was doing it one time, I loaded it up, I pressed the buttons, it cycled, I went to reach in and grab the hexagon, and before I could touch it, thank goodness, it cycled again with no hands on either button. So at that point, it's like, that's it, I'm done. I am not using this press again. And they never asked me to. And about a week later, I saw it out to be recycled. So that worked reasonably well. Hey, Jen, welcome onto the stream, or back on the stream. I should be able to get all of the spools done. And hopefully tomorrow I can start using the warping frame. So that's the plan for tonight. So I pre-deployed plenty of tape. And let's get the D-ring on the thread here. And I don't know if she'll be on, but I did send an invite to Danny on. If she can't make it, that's perfectly fine. But I do want a chance to talk to her about what she would like done for her particular braid, since she's the one up after Rob. Because I want to have enough time to like design it and think about it, where I'm not like rushing in. And if she has a color that I don't have on hand for it that she wants, I'd like to have time to order it. Alrighty. Looks like the thread's kind of stuck around the cone here. Let me get this untangled. There we go. That's much better. I don't want to have another one where I turn it on and it just breaks the thread because it won't turn. All right. And there's enough there. Let's see. I'm going to try and bring up StreamYard on the other computer so I can read the chats as I'm going along, because the way the screen is angled on the laptop, it makes it a bit difficult to read the chats as they come in. Hey, Kathleen, nice to see you on. It's been a little while. I am trying to get all of the threads wound up on the spools. All right, let's see if I can bring up StreamYard without having a weird feedback incident. Alrighty. Let's load StreamYard and enter Studio. All right, and mute the other camera before I enter. And okay. Alrighty. So, yep, the right camera's going. I can see the chats now. And Jen, hope you have a decent time at work and that your travel home is safe. I'm going to do my best to get this all done by the time Rob starts his Friday Night Frenzy, because I'd like to go ahead and like take a picture of the done spools and send it to him on Twitter or whatever, and then super chat to let him know that we're getting close to starting his. I'm going to make sure to, I didn't bring out the pillow for my knee, but I think as long as I don't stand on the heel, I should be okay. Let's go ahead and bring up the timer. All right, we're in timer mode. And just thinking here and making sure I haven't forgot anything. And I don't believe so. So let's go ahead and give it a start. Just a little bit of resistance on the cone so it doesn't bounce around much. Yeah, it looks like we got good coverage on the camera. I think if I'm going to stream out here regularly, I'm going to have to either configure the folding computer to be able to do the video feed, or replace the computer I've been using out here for my router CNC controller computer. The computer I've been using for that, and I did do like 1 or 2 shop streams from, is an old Gateway computer. Not too old. It's like about 7 or 8 years old, I think. It's got a decent sized hard drive, but it's got onboard video, and I did get an add-on video card to get better video. But you can only use like the half height cards in it, and nothing that requires extra power. And it's just not that much of a bonus. So it's a nice, convenient one, especially when I take it with me on my vacation, because I use that for the computer for that office. But I think I might have to break down and either get or build a better computer for that. And if I get it decently powerful for like a shop stream, I might be able to include that as a deduction on my taxes, as long as that's like the primary purpose for that, and for controlling the router for shop streams and stuff like that. So after this one, I'll go ahead and put on some background music. I'm thinking maybe buying access on a music service or something like that, where I can pay the licensing fee for some decent background hold music, stuff like that. Maybe talk to musicians, see if they can't make me like an intro jingle, stuff like that. I'm thinking I might see if I can't start tinkering around with Mid-Journey, given that Ian's done quite a bit to show people how you can use that. Maybe get that to make a swoop or two for me. Thinking one maybe with the red and black yin yang logo that I've used before, with the yellow lightning bolts. Anyway, just thinking out loud. We got about a little over a minute and a half left for this one. But I think I've prepped everything well in advance that, assuming no issues, we'll probably get this done in just a little over an hour. And then I might go ahead and work on some other stuff out here if you folks are interested. I need to finish up with the back frames or bracing frames for the signs that I'm doing for vacation. And I got to make a box for the attendance counter thing. I got the wood for that today. Most of it's just like, miter saw and some screws. For those that had heard me talk about the neighbor who had kind of disappeared, he got back home yesterday. He wasn't feeling well, checked himself into the local hospital. Turned out he had some pneumonia. They treated that, and he's back home and feeling a lot better. And my dad has moved from the hospital to the rehab facility. He's going to be there for 10 to 14 days as they try and get him back up and into fighting trim so that he can go home and do reasonably well, help my mother, who also needs assistance. My sister, who lives in Louisiana, is going to be flying out in a couple of days to help with that transition. My sister that lives in Idaho has been with my mom quite a bit and is kind of running out of energy, so my other sister being able to travel up there is nice. If it wasn't so close to the event I go to, where a lot of people depend on me for what I do out there, I would also be considering doing that myself. And maybe when that's done, if my folks still need some help, I will probably also wind up visiting my folks to try and take care of that. Just depends on how well my dad is doing. Hope you were able to hear me okay through that. I know the AC is running, so that makes a little bit of background noise. And thank you for the positive thoughts, Jen and Gwen. All right. There we go. And let's see, is there enough for another time? Well, nope, not quite enough. I have to feed this through and then take it off. I get it fed through, but when I try and release my fingers so that I can reposition, it just keeps pulling back out. But I got it through. There we go. And reasonably wound. Nice and silvery look to the silk. Let's see. Can we get a decent close-up here for you folks? Let's see. Yeah, it does not want to autofocus at the right level. Let's see. Yeah, I'll stop trying. Hope that's not too annoying. And for those that have not seen it, let me bring the rack. As you can see, it's pretty close to being done. We have 5, 6, and 7, and we will be done. Oh yes, I was going to do some background music. Let's see, we were doing rock last. Let's try night driving. Hopefully that's quiet enough you can hear me, but provides a little bit of background. There we go. Just take a look at my stats here. All right. We seem to be doing pretty good. YouTube thinks it's a good feed, so let's see. Nobody's chatting on Rumble. Though apparently 2 people are watching, so woohoo! That gives us 6 people watching. Not bad for as early as I am on a Friday, especially since I'm going up against Friday night tights. Put that in there. A little bit of caffeine. I'm thinking what kind of might have triggered my migraine yesterday is Monday and Tuesday. I was at a gap for my stay awake medicine, so I was trying to make up for it with caffeine. And I think after dropping back down, I dropped down too much. That's a little bit of a caffeine rebound triggering the migraine. So probably need to be a little more careful about that. And okay, let's get this next one set up. Don't want to have too much time in between. Makes it a lot slower, or takes longer to get these done. Because I can't wrap them faster without changing the belt speed. And I'd have to redo the calculation, which is doable, but will take time. Alrighty. There we go. So that's reasonably centered. At least it looks centered. I'm really looking forward to get back to braiding on the Takadai again, since it's been a little while. All right, we are ready to go again. So, start and... I just forgot to do a little bit of extra tension. I think after this one's done, I'll go ahead and show you the other sign, since my wife is done painting it, and I need to screw on the frame for it. She did a wonderful job on it. I really hope the recipients like it. And when I get back from vacation, I'm hoping to spend a lot more time out here making projects that I've been planning to make, using the CNC router more. Now that I have AC and we'll have heat out to the winter, that's not costing an arm and a leg. definitely looking forward to doing more of that stuff. I might move the 3D printer indoors. Now that I got an enclosure for it, I can keep the cats from deciding to attack the print head as it's moving, which won't be good for the printer and probably won't be good for them. I don't think they're likely to keep batting at it with their paws if they hit the hot end, but I'd still rather avoid that for them. Though it can probably move the print head fast enough that it might be uncomfortable for them if it hits them. Somebody on one of the Facebook groups for the particular printer I got managed to have their hand in the way when the printer started up on its own. I'm not sure why it did that, but they got a fairly uncomfortable looking injury on their hand, though nothing that is like disfiguring and debilitating. It's still not something that they would reasonably want to have to put up with. But I've never had mine start up on its own when paused. But I'll keep an eye out for that and be extra careful. Speaking of which, 3D printing, I have subscribed to a Patreon for, I think it's Hexen 3D, and they've got a lot of nice stuff that I want to be able to print. There's a lot of lightsaber designs, things like that I think would be fun to print. So I'm looking at that. There's some stuff I wanted to do before I went camping or to the vacation thing, but my slicer crashed and I haven't had a chance to get that set back up and tweak it back to where it was. So I'll do that when I get home and I'm not under time pressure. That's also one of the things I need to do is talk to my neurologist about seeing if I have some treatable attention deficit that might help me get a little more focused on what I need to so I can do the projects I want to. The fact that I'm not sleepy all the time is really, really nice for me right now. And a lot of what I've been working on the last couple of months is kind of unlearning my anti-sleep coping mechanisms, because while they would keep me awake, I wouldn't actually get a whole heck of a lot done. So I'm trying to switch those out for things that'll let me do stuff. So I'm not actually reading as much on the computer as I used to. That was one of my big ones. So. Got about a minute left on this one. We're about 25 minutes into the stream, and I've got roughly 2 done. Hopefully I can up my rate a little bit. About 30 seconds left. Yeah, I definitely like these larger / longer spools. Makes it a lot easier to do this than the smaller ones did. So I'll be picking up more of these. Well, the vibrations keeps knocking stuff around. Tipped over my soda bottle. Alrighty. There we go. Make sure that's locked. I don't want to do this and have it wrap around and cut my knuckles. That would be bad. Though I'm not using enough force that it would be more than like a minor cut. It's still, I don't like getting cut. It's one of the moderately annoying things working at a plastics machine shop. Plastic's a little sharper than you would expect at times. It's not as bad as metal, but I think with metal I've been like more careful with it, and so I tend to get cut a bit more at the I mean, this is like paper cut type stuff at the plastics place. This one has just barely got enough room, and I'm trying to get it through the hole so I can tape it down. Almost. There we go. Oh, there we go. Got it through and pulled it out. Let's try. Try again. Okay, got it through. Holding it with a finger. Don't let it slide back out. And there we go. Okay, looks good. I will say I am definitely enjoying the AC. I had it running since about noon today. So it's been going for about 6 hours out here. I left it running while I was out doing a couple of the constable stuff, because that way it would essentially be able to cool more than just the surface air, get it kind of a uniform through the garage. It seems to have worked. I walked in, it was blissfully cool. Thinking if it gets really hot, I'll be able to sleep here overnight. I just need to get some curtains up on the windows so that neighbors can't peek in. All right. Almost ready to start again. We're doing pretty good on here. We're down to 3 people watching. Well, thank you, Glenn. That's nice to hear. Welcome back. Avalistar Istev. I'm eventually going to get that. I seem to have a brain problem for remembering names, but I think once I get that one down, I'll be able to remember it for a long time coming. So, but welcome back to the stream. All right. Yeah. Yes. I still have a pretty bad headache, though it's getting better. So maybe the AC is helping with that. But with migraines, I tend to get like a period of the migraine, and then like a short period of, somewhere between 2 and 10 hours where it's not really all that bad, and then kind of a backside rebound, and I'm in that now. So, and it's stronger than the front side was, but it should be fading. I can think clearly and I can see clearly. So, Avela Starisev. Avela Staris. I will try and work on that. I'll go with Eva for right now, if that's all right. Let me put my soda someplace it's not going to be vibrating to the floor. And, oh yes, I was going to show that. So, I don't have to look that off. I have it over here. My wife did all the painting on here. That 20 is in a white metallic. I am very, very happy with how she did the painting on that. It looks wonderful to me. There you go. And I do try and get the pronunciations right. I think that's polite, and I'm unfortunately not very good at pronouncing some things. Alrighty, we are ready for the next one, and let's start. And unfortunately, I do have a direct Ethernet line to the garage here. When I went ahead and ran a new power line out here so I could have 100 amp service, I also fished through a Cat 5 E Ethernet cable, and that lets me have a nice hardwired connection out here. Thank you, Eva. So once I get these done today, I'm going to set up the warping frame for tomorrow. And even though it's kind of warm in the house, probably about midday or so, depends on how my other projects work, I'm going to try and start warping up the Takadai for Rob's braid. So what I'll be doing is I'll be feeding like the threads from 12 with the one color spool and 12 with the other color spool through some guides, and be able to like gather them up, tie it on one tama, pull it out until I've got it long enough, mark the midpoint with a little bit of painter's tape so I know where it's at, then take the other end, cut it off, feed it through the starting D-ring, and tie it off on another tama. And I'm hoping, if all goes well, I can actually get the Takadai set up in probably about 2, maybe 3 hours, depending on how well that works and how much I screw up the process. Which I'm sure that's going to happen. Okay, Eva, you have a good one. Or enjoy grabbing your food. Hope it's something that you enjoy. And we'll see you when you get back. I'm going to probably be on here until 8 o'clock my time, which is when Friday Night Frenzy starts. I might end a little early if I get everything caught up and I'm working on other stuff. I think I'm probably going to bump up the AC a little bit since I'm out here and working. It's warming up just a little bit. It's still perfectly nice, but I'm hoping to cool down a bit. I've been really warm a lot today. Had to drive around, do constable work with my vest on. Here comes my wife. Hello, dear. Thank you. I'm on time spot here, and I am streaming. But I'm measuring how.
Which one do you want? I have a Cuban or a brisket burger.
What's the second one?
Cuban brisket burger.
Ooh, they're both good.
I'll have half of each.
Okay. Thank you, dear. Once I get this done, I am going to run and grab some food for me too. I hope you don't mind. In case you didn't hear what she said, she brought home a Cuban and a brisket burger. I love both of those. All right, we got about 1 minute, 10 seconds. All right, got about 20 seconds left to go. Go. Dismiss that. I hit the dismiss. Right, I did it twice apparently. Alrighty. We're making some pretty decent progress on this. Second here. I'll take this off. I'll switch the background music for a second, or to another thing, and then I will run in and see what my dinner options are. All right. Nope, not enough for a loop around. There we go. Bit of tape here. And one's good to go. All right, please excuse me for about 5 minutes or so. I will go ahead and switch the track here real quick. Let's go into space, see what that's like. Not too bad. Alrighty, so like I said, I'm going to take about 5 minutes. I will be back as soon as I can. I'm not sure if I'm going to eat something or just make sure that my wife's happy with her choice. We'll be back as soon as I can. I'm going to leave the headphones here so that I don't lose the Bluetooth connection because that screwed it up last time. And I am back. Thank you for your patience. Starting off with the Cuban. I'm going to set it out of sight so you don't have to see my ugly mug noshing away. But I am going to eat a little bit as I go along. Oh, that's good. Please excuse me as I hold my hand to my head. Yeah. Dropping the temp a couple of degrees on the AC. Had a bite to eat. Put this back on. Alrighty. And check something real quick. Let's see. I wanna. There we go. See if I got a reply back on something I was hoping to do for the stream, but if not, that's fine too. But I figured I've got it up so I can check. So I'm taking a pause here. All right, so they haven't seen the link. No problem. Okay, and let's bring that back up. And there we go. All right, so we can get started again. Here we have only five spools left to go. We're making good time. All right. Pull the D-ring off there. Let's get that back on. My roommate may or may not come out. She has AC in her room, but she's out of her room at the moment, and it's still kind of warm in the house. So if she comes out to try out the AC here, I would like that, but I might go ahead and turn off the camera because I don't know if she wants to be on stream or not. Until she can get situated. I need to get like 1 or 2 chairs out here because I don't have anything like that. Oops. I just realized I looped this around here with the D-ring. And let's see. Am I going to have to unscrew that? Okay. All right, so that's there. And yeah, sorry about that. Let's see if I can fix this now. There we go. All right. Took care of that. About 46 minutes in. Making a reasonable time. I should still be able to get this done before Rob starts Friday Night Frenzy. Probably going to stay out here in the shop for that so I can stay cool. And all right, I believe we are ready to go. Thank you for your patience. Welcome, Al Shirley. Yeah, hand drill for smaller bobbin should work. You could also do a larger drill and still have it work. It just depends on how you've got it mounted. Let's see. I made some tatting lace bobbins out of brass one time, and they were ridiculously heavy for that purpose. So they would not. I was originally designing them to like be able to use it with the disc for Kumihimo, but they were like too heavy for that too. But I have to think what I can come up with that would work for that. So, all right, I am ready to start and unlock the phone and start. There we go. We're back up to 7 people. I realize as people get off work and get home on the East Coast, probably increase on that. One of the things I've learned recently at my work, where we do a lot of plastics work, we've been having a hard time finding people to recycle our scraps. And since some of our scraps are pretty decently sized, especially for the types of projects I'd like to do, I'm starting to consider bringing some of that stuff home more for being able to do projects I want. And since Rob has a tray that he made out of UHMW polyethylene, yes, I think it's polyethylene. And we have UHMW scraps at my work from various jobs. I was thinking I might be able to make my own epoxy pour tray out of that. And since my work does plastic welding with those, which is kind of a neat process. It's basically you got kind of like a heat gun, and you've got round plastic filament that's about maybe 2 or 3 millimeters across, and you kind of treat it like either a MIG or a TIG welder as far as how you apply it. But it heats it up, and then you like draw it along what you want your weld to do, and it like bonds with what your base material is. I might see if either I can get trained on that equipment or talk one of them into on a break or whatever, welding up the tank for me out of the scraps. I might try doing some small tables, lots of tables, kind of like Rob's done. Might get me started there. I like the look a lot of a lot of the ones I've seen, and I'm thinking maybe something where I like a live edge thing, where not necessarily a live edge, but where I've done like a 3D router carve and then epoxy over that for a table or something like that. Kind of a fun, neat project that might actually pay for itself. Since I now have the vacuum pump that I can use to degas epoxy, so I can do clear pours, no bubbles. And got about 2.5 minutes left on this one. I also use it to vacuum table stuff for my router, so I don't have to come up with weird clamp down methods. Okay, that seems reasonable. Let's see. The main reason I'm using this drill press as opposed to like a hand drill is because I don't really have speed control on my hand drill sufficient that I could reasonably get the amount I want reliably. But if you're just doing it for like a visual size, where you've got enough for what you're doing and you don't have to be super precise on the length, I might be able to come up with something for that, Glenn. Let's see. I'm all about being lazy and efficient so you can do more with less effort. Though that's kind of counterproductive for the Takadai braiding because yes, it can be automated, but then it's not a personally satisfying art to do. And that's a thing I enjoy doing, regardless of the opportunities for automation there. And it's just satisfying being able to do it myself. All right, got about 20 seconds left on here. I'll grab another bite or two when this one's done. That was tasty. The mustard was a little more horseradishy than I'm used to. I'm not completely opposed to horseradish, but it has to be certain specific foods or things where it fits well for me. Yeah. Locked back. Yep. Let's go ahead and change the background music. Don't want to get it too repetitive for you folks. It gets annoying after a while. I'll go back to feeding the ducks. That's a good classic standby. Alrighty. Have only 4 more after this. We're about halfway through. And it's been less than an hour. So looks like I will definitely be able to get this all done in time tonight. And hopefully go ahead and be able to stream using the warping frame for setting up the Takadai. I'll probably have, I'll see if I can't set up both cameras. The webcam style one that I used yesterday and the one I used for over the point of braiding. It's actually not bad at all. So that I can do like a split screen so you can see not only me moving this, warping it up, but also how it looks like as it's going over the D-ring, so you can see how that's done. Because apparently a flat start, which is what I do for the custom braids, is kind of hard to do on a Takadai. So, and I seem to have been able to master, at least for the pickup braid pattern, being able to get it to do what I want it to do. So, and be nice to document what I do. So in the future, if I've forgotten what it is, because between the first and second one I did, I forgot how to do what I was doing, and it took me a little bit to remember it. So, right. Okay, yeah. That looked like it might have wrapped around. Okay. I'll have to. I have friends that do tatting and bob and lace. I'll have to talk to them, see what it is. Look at the equipment directly, get a better idea. I mean, theoretically, you could use like a 3-jaw drill chuck with like maybe a sleeve so you don't damage your bobbin if it's wood or plastic, and get it there and be able to just kind of roll it on that way. So also I'm thinking maybe for something more precise that I could do that's not like electronic is I could probably print a planetary gear setup where like one crank would spin your bobbin like maybe 50 or 100 times, so you could just gently do it without a lot of effort and get a reasonable speed on it. But not like where you let go, it just stops. So let me think about that. That's an interesting project. I do warn you, there's no guarantee I'll actually be able to get it done, but I'll think what I can do on that. This is good. Congrats, Eva. I managed to acquire a Cuban sandwich. Thanks to my absolutely wonderful wife, who's very accommodating when I'm less than full capacity due to a migraine. Mm. Trying to be careful so I don't accidentally get grease on the soaked bread. All right, that is the fourth to last one I'm doing now. So if you already have a sewing machine, that might be something that I could do relatively easily for bobbin winder. Let me think about that as well. Just want to do something nice for you folks since you've been so nice for watching my streams and helping my channel build. So, alrighty, so we are ready for this one. We will hit start and. Well, congrats. I'm weird. I never really liked macaroni and cheese growing up to the point where my mom would actually save a portion of the elbow macaroni without anything on it, and I would have that with soy sauce. Um, the thing is I like cheese. I like pasta. I like cheesy pastas. I just, for some reason, don't like macaroni and cheese. And that might be my family's recipe, or it just might be some weird thing I got in my head and can't overcome that without a lot of effort. So, but yeah, that was one of the things when I was growing up that I just absolutely could not stand. But I wound up liking a lot of other things that I didn't like growing up. I didn't like mushrooms, and I'm a real big fan now. Once I got to like my early 20s, I decided, let me try a bunch of stuff I thought I didn't like, see if I can't, expand my palate. No, my head doesn't feel warm with a migraine. It just hurts. I seem to be able, I don't feel overly warm. Being out in the heat today may have made it worse, but I think that's mostly just due to the heat and some dehydration. Yep, definitely agree with you there, Eva. Sometimes combining two or three wonderful things gets you something you just don't like. I do like a lot of cheeses, but I don't really care for American cheese. And on the like Kraft American cheese singles or whatever, there's usually the processed cheese food, and I like to joke that that's American cheese is what cheese eats. Yeah, definitely using the D-ring and these larger spools has made this a lot easier than the first few I did. So, I'll probably wait till I get back home from vacation, but I'm definitely going to order another set of these larger spools. That way I can get the 24 of them I need. I'm okay with cheddar. I like it as an ingredient. I'm okay with it on its own. But I find I like a lot of other cheeses a lot better. One of my favorites is provolone. I just love provolone. I can eat it. One of my favorite snacks, if I'm getting a lot of exercise and I can burn off the calories, is diced up Lebanon bologna and provolone cheese cubes. Uh, it's a great snack for me. Not a lot of carbs. Tastes wonderful, and I can eat it all day. And if I do eat it all day, I will gain a lot of weight. So, cream cheeses. I mean, I like cream cheese, but some of the stuff they do as cheeses for like fast food restaurants, where they say, they've got this cheese on it, and it's actually like a sauce that is cheese flavored. I really don't like those. I'd rather just have the cheese itself with no sauce. I tend not to be a sauce on my burger type person. But I do like A1 on hamburgers. I like tomatoes and mushrooms too. Sorry, I don't mean to be chatting too much about food. Alrighty. There we go. And dismiss that. I think I've had Jarlsberg before, Al, and like that quite a bit. There's my wife really likes Swiss, so she tends to get Swiss type cheeses. And a good pairing with the cheese to complement its flavor helps a lot for cheeses that I'm like, not necessarily all that hot on straight. So, go and take that off. Do need to deploy a little bit more, tape. So I got 3 of them left. I need 4 more pieces of tape. Do that real quick while I'm thinking about it. And then I will change the track again. I'm doing really good. It's only been an hour and I only have 3 of them left. So I'm definitely ahead of the curve on this, my time frame. I don't really care much for a squash where it's baked and creamy. I do like some squashes and sometimes zucchini when it's just kind of like grilled and it's nice and firm. It's the consistency thing for me there. So, okay, got that. Let's grab another spool. Change the background real quick, or the background music. All right, so let's go to daydreaming. And back to comments. Let's see. Stats look pretty good for YouTube. Got 5 people watching on Rumble. Woohoo! Let me tell them that there. Alrighty. So switching over to StreamYard, or back to StreamYard there again, so I can see what's going on. All right. I'll get this set up real quick and grab another bite or two and get back to winding these up. So I am off from work, though I did do a little bit of consulting today. Today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And then I'm working Monday through Thursday. I got physical therapy right after work on Monday and Thursday. Friday, I I'm off Thursday night. We'll be doing most of the packing for trip, and then I will be at the event site Saturday afternoon sometime, and probably I'm guessing Monday or so is when I'll try and be able to like start streaming again or have other stuff going on there, uploading videos. The only people that are on the event site until the next Friday are all staff people, so I won't be able to do interviews or anything like that, but I should have reasonable bandwidth, so I might be able to stream. We'll have to see how that goes. Give me a second here to grab another bite. I will mute myself so I don't. Let's see. There we go. Sorry about that. I was eating too fast. My stomach was not enjoying that. Or not so much my stomach, but my throat. If I swallow too fast, I catch an air pocket, and that's extremely uncomfortable for a while, and I usually get hiccups out of that. So I managed to avoid that, and I think we are ready. Whoops. There we go. Kicking the chair there. I think we're ready for the next one. And let's start. Don't forget to do all the usual YouTube things of liking, commenting, sharing. It's much appreciated. Lets YouTube know that you guys enjoy what I do. Hopefully start showing me to more people so we can increase the audience here. I will say it does make me feel very happy when I go to start the stream and I see that I've already gotten several likes. You people are nice and proactive. Apparently the most bounciness I get on the cone as it's unwinding through the eyelid is when it gets to the very top and it has the most angle of attack. So I think if I do the eye loop for the feed through a little higher up where it's more like halfway up the height of the cone, that might bounce around a bit less. I didn't do tests per se, but I did math. What I did is I measured the circumference of each of the different size spools, and using that circumference and the rotational speed of the drill, I figured out how much thread should wrap around it over the course of a minute. which is basically the drill is running at 220 RPM. So in the course of 1 minute, it'll turn 220 times. And then I multiply the circumference times that. I know as it gets larger, it'll pull more onto it, but I figure it's reasonably close. I mean, if I get a little more than I need, it's not going to hurt anything as long as I don't run out of thread. So anyway, I got the how much thread I would get on in a minute, and then I took the total amount of thread I would need, plus like an extra Thomas worth, and then I divided that by the per minute amount, and that told me how many minutes I would need to wind up the amount I needed. So for the smaller spools, that was 6 minutes and 10 seconds, and for the larger, these ones here, it's 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And I did kind of round up to make sure that, okay, good, we'll see you when you come back on. So I did I rounded up a little bit so I wouldn't be short. I realize I'm going to probably waste a little bit of thread, but it's better to have a little extra than not enough. And I'm not using up the cones, so if I need a little extra, I've got a little on hand. So I'm trying to get a finished length of roughly 5 to 6 feet. I lose about roughly 30% of my length in the braiding process. So I figured 9 feet per tama is reasonable. So that's what I did. I need 43 tama for the red and 41 tama for the white. So I did 42 and 44 tamas worth of length for each color, and I'm doing 12 of these, so 12 strands per tama. Yep, definitely understand that. I might want to do fried chicken. And I think I mentioned it, eventually what I'd like to be able to do is just put the silk cones directly on the rack without having to do the winding ahead of time. But for each color that I do for this, that'll run me about $300. And I'm not quite to the point where I can do that all in one go. There we go. That's the end of this one. I'm hoping that I will eventually have enough work and either through YouTube and Rumble revenue or commissions or whatever, that I will eventually be able to afford to do that. That'll make life a lot easier for me if I can. And while this definitely will not be like a replacement income for me, I'm hoping that it's something that'll allow me to keep doing this, where it's not interfering with other finances, and also, will pay for itself to the point where it might be a little bonus income when I retire. Because I plan on doing this after I retire. I'm turning 55 years old next month. I will be the double nickel, and probably be retiring roughly a decade after that. So I'd like to do this like for the next 20 or 30 years. I really enjoy braiding, and I enjoy sharing it. So I'm hoping that that's how it'll proceed. We're down to only two more spools to wind up. See if anybody responded to my Rumble chat. Nope. 4 people watching over there now. And we're back to StreamYard. About an hour and 20 minutes in. So we will definitely be done with these before an hour and 45 minutes is up. because I only have 2 left to go. Unless I really mess around and don't do what I need to do, but I'm not expecting that to be the case. Though if for some reason the garage catches fire, I will head out rather than try and finish it off before. Because, hey, there's a fire extinguisher in the house. I'll call the fire department and take care of things like that rather than being stupid. Because I try not to be stupid. While stupid should be painful, it usually is painful. And I try and avoid pain where I can. And being what I would call willfully stupid is kind of offensive to me, where you know how you can deal with something and you don't. Sorry. Yes, indeed. Welcome back, Gwen. Let's see. Second, I'm going to grab another bite here, so I mute this myself. I realized I made the mistake of setting my food tray on the anvil. And since there's some condensation, I'll have to take a little bit of whey oil and coat the anvil face so it doesn't rust. A little bit more caffeine seems to be helping the migraine a bit, though if I walk out of here and back in the heat, it starts spiking again. So. Probably going to try and stay out here as much as I can until I'm ready to call it a night. All right. This is our second to last one. We are set up to go. Okay, I'm not on mute. Let me go ahead and change the background music again. Go to dance pop. Let's see how bad that is. I can put up with that, I think. All right, we are ready to start. And okay, nothing's going to catch, I don't think. And start. Yeah, I also have a seltzer I'm drinking too, which is completely unsweetened. It just has flavor. I like the brand. It's Waterloo. I can get it at the local Giant, and it's got a nice strong flavor, which a lot of seltzers, they're more subtle in flavor. I like the bubbles, but there's no caffeine in them, nothing but the carbonation and the water and a little bit of flavor. And I like drinking those as my general go-to drink. And I do the Mountain Dew diet mainly just for the caffeine. I eventually need to get myself off of it entirely, but when I have migraines and stuff like that, it's kind of a comfort thing. And getting caffeine and the flavor I'm used to. Not necessarily one I like, just one I'm used to. But I want to eventually switch over to where I'm just doing like a measured caffeine tablet, so I have enough that I don't get I call them cluster migraines, but they're not actually cluster migraines. It's just really bad migraines, a lot of them together. Um, that I'll about 3-4 months after I stop taking caffeine altogether, they start up. And this is different than just regular caffeine withdrawal. So I try and take just a regular amount per day. Also, since I've been on the modafinil, I don't really need the caffeine as much, so I'm trying to take it back as well. But yeah, I'm gonna try and treat myself well so that I'm not too uncomfortable. The fact I've got a computer out here in addition to the laptop is nice. It makes it a little easier for me. I can research things and do stuff I need to do. I have to make sure that I got everything lined up, everything caught up bill-wise, and planned for while I'm on vacation. Because being away from home for about 3 weeks, you don't want to accidentally miss a bill and come home. It's like, whoops, I needed to pay that. Utilities and the like don't really like that. All the stuff I have, I can do it online, no problem. But there's some other stuff like my water bill and whatnot, the sewer and trash the municipality does that they only do it as mailed out stuff. And they're not monthly, the water, sewer, and trash, all quarterly bills. Kimberly, welcome. I'm not sure I remember seeing you on before. If you have been, welcome back. If you haven't, welcome to the stream. Do you have any questions about Kumihimo in general, the specific braids I do in particular, or just fun chat, please feel free. That's what we're here for. Got about 1 minute and 45 seconds left until this one's done. So tentative plan is I will definitely try and start warping up the Takadai tomorrow. If I can't get it all done tomorrow, I'll try and get it done Sunday. And at least get the braids started a little bit, maybe like one rendition through a robot. So I've got something that can be seen. And then I will probably put it, or not do any more with it until I get back from vacation because I can't transport it with me. But I want to get it started. It's been a little while since I finished up the Eames braid. And I like to keep the Takadai active. Got about 50 seconds left on this one. We're definitely going faster than we've had for the last couple of streams. But I think the next time I do this, since I have a good idea of what I need to do, I can probably get these wound in about 3 hours roughly, I think. 3 to 4. Especially if I'm using these for all the colors. Got about 10 seconds left. Go. I think I'm going to switch that. Not really enjoying it that much. Let's try acoustic cinematic. Sorry if I'm whining too much about my migraine. As my roommate who also gets migraine says, sometimes you get migraine brain and you just are not thinking as clearly as you could. She likes to refer to a comic she's read about someone called Migraine Boy, and just kind of points out some of the weird things you do when you're having a migraine that are not all that logical or rational, but you do it just because you're not able to think as clearly. Yeah, I'm not really liking this one either. Let me switch back to feeding the ducks. All right, last one. And yes, I do wash the braids before I send them out. Yep, I'll definitely understand that. Yep. I started getting mine, I think, in my late teenage years. I can remember them around 14 or 15. I had no idea what they were until like my early 20s. So, my mother also got them when she was younger, but she kind of outgrew them in her late 20s, early 30s. At 54, I don't think I'm going to outgrow them, though the CPAP has definitely reduced it significantly. All right, last one here. We are ready to go. Whoops. The way that looks, I think it will snag if I start. There we go. All right, last one and start. It'll be interesting to see how much I have left on them when I've got them all worked up. I have to do all 24 spools prior to starting because I have to alternate colors uh, to get the flat start to look right because it's got to alternate gray, red, gray, red. Uh, there is one of each color where I can't do it where I have a tama on each end and tie it off in the middle. I've got to only do 6 threads and loop it over and tie it all off on a single tama. Because there's an odd number of each color. 43 and 41 of each color, or 43 of one color, 41 of the other, for a total of 84 tama in this pattern. And I can make the braids wider or narrower. For each step up or down, I either add or remove 8 tama. So this next size down is 76, and then 68, and then 60 is the narrowest one I'm aware of for pickup braids. You could probably do smaller than that, but it won't look very good because you won't have a lot of colors. Yeah, this is actually a total of 84 strands. It's actually 2 braids parallel, top and bottom. One is one color, the other is the other color. And you get your pattern by swapping threads from top to bottom to generate your design. About 3 minutes left on this one. If you go, Kimberly, if you go back, look through my live streams for like Ian Rumpel braid or Ricada Law braid, you can see the general type of braiding that I'm talking about there and how it's braided up. Like I said, I'm hoping to get Rob started sometime this weekend. Maybe do 1 or 2 sessions this week before I head out on vacation. And, go from there. After I'm done with this spool, I'll show you again what the warping frame looks like. I need about 6 or 7 more binder clips, and it'll be ready to go. I'll pick those up probably tomorrow morning, because I don't think I've got the coping beans to handle tonight. I got the term coping beans from my roommate who has a fair amount of medical issues. And after the spoon theory of dealing with things became popularized, she started using that one. But I've known her long enough that I'm used to her older version of coping beans. She only has a certain number of coping beans a day, and when she deals with issues, tasks, things like that, she has to spend the coping beans. And when she's out, she just can't cope anymore. Okay, we're down to about 45 seconds left. And these are the colors that Rob picked for his braid. About 20 seconds left. Five, four, three, two, one. There we go. And they're all wound. Second here, and I will show you how much is left on the cone. There we go. And any luck, after I go on vacation, as long as I keep broadcasting and YouTube doesn't stop showing my stuff to people, my watch hours should start going up by quite a bit, because that's kind of where I hit my drop-off point, and my watch hours went very low for a while. Alrighty. Let's get this taped off. Okay, get that through the hole. And yeah. Let's move this a little bit where it's a little easier to show things. I don't have the drill press in the way. There we are, 12 of each color. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yep. I did grab an extra spool from inside from last night, so those are done. This is my warping frame. So this sits on top of where the rack goes, and we have binder clips. I need like 6 more of these. Did I? Okay, this one looks like it's still going okay, but the The other copy of StreamYard seems to be having an issue. I don't know if I knocked something out. So hopefully you guys are seeing this okay. But yeah, so the threads will come up, and one will go through the bottom, one will go through the top here, and then they'll feed up to all 12 going to the top here. I'll feed it through, tie it off on a tama, string it out. When I'm ready to cut it off here, I'll like wrap it around once and just like use a clothespin or something to clamp it so that it doesn't fall out of the guide here until I'm ready to do it again. Sorry, lifting stuff like that. It's weird that let's see. So how much thread I figured I have left? I did enough to have all the tama I needed wrapped, plus an extra tama, plus like about an extra 4 or 5 feet if I calculated it right. And for all the calculations I did, I rounded up a little bit. So actually, now that I don't need this up here, let me show you the calculations I did. Let's see. I am going to, let's see. I'm going to close this copy of StreamYard and reopen it. Don't know why it's lagging so much. Let's see. But those are my calculations. Yeah, there we go. Let's pause here for a little bit. Hopefully folks can read that. Let's enter the studio there on the other computer. And it may just be the other computer is having issues. Let's move the cam there in the studio. Let's see. Did not want full screen on that. Yeah, I think the other computer is just overloaded right now. I'll ignore what that is. It rebooted once or twice recently, so I'm thinking that I need to like open it up and blow everything out so that it's not overheating or anything like that. Alrighty, let me go ahead and turn off the background music. Let's see. Stop that. There we go. Let's see if I missed anything on the chats. Okay. All right, reading through here. Okay, let's see. All right, we got about 20 minutes before Rob's stream starts. If you guys want, I'll work on the frame that finished gluing and screwing in the frame for the pictures. Or I can go ahead and end the stream, whatever you folks feel like. Once again, the last time I charged this battery was sometime around like September or October of last year, and it still works. I'm not sure how it's doing it, but I am impressed. And I have the other battery charged and ready to go. I'll be taking it on vacation to be able to use it as a gear thing for the attendance counter. Yeah, that's true. I'm actually pretty good at starting reasonably on time within a couple of minutes, but I can definitely understand it's like it's time to go, and like crap, I was caught up with a bunch of other stuff and wasn't able to get to what I needed to. And it's like, got to hurry and set things up. So, however, I will treat myself with a Dove chocolate. I try not to eat too many of these, so I only buy a bag like about maybe twice a year, but I went ahead and got one the other day. Okay, so this is the one I'm currently working on. And as you can see on the back, I've got a stabilizing frame that I have pre-drilled and glued on. The edge isn't necessarily lined up the best, but it should provide plenty of support, keep it from warping or anything like that. The other day when I said I couldn't find the drill, but I had a spare, I'd left the other drill in the screws that I was working with at the same time. I thought ahead, and I was thinking clearly then. I just didn't remember what I thought. So I got the drills here. I'm going to drill some holes in here, and I'm going to put some glue on, clamp it in a couple of spots, and then screw it in, and it'll be ready to go. Shouldn't take too long, but I'll keep going for a few minutes. I'll keep an eye on the chat so I'm not missing anything, and I'll probably stop in about maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So any questions or commentary or anything like that, I'll be happy to deal with that. Let's see. And I realize this is probably not the best tool. It doesn't run that fast. I'll do the other drill. I'll leave that for screwing screws. Okay. The bit for Phillips head. Well, Phillips isn't too bad. I actually prefer for stuff that I want to use a drive on to use it. I like Torx or Robeson. They're better at like staying in and not stripping things out if they hit heavy load. I still have the hammer drill that I was using to install the AC. Let's take that out. And put that in. Same 1/4-inch hex. Don't just set it down. I have a spot to keep it attached to the drill so it doesn't get lost. I really should use that. All right. And where to plug in? Okay. If the whole locations were at all critical, I would have drawn spots to do and maybe even done them on the drill press. But all I'm looking for here is just to have kind of decent visual spacing for the whole locations. There's no specific number or placing I need for it. And last night I was talking about how deburring tools work great. Admittedly, this is fairly soft wood for this blade geometry, but it works reasonably well. I just don't want any chips off the holes, keeping it from being able to make good contact for the glue to hold. So. And if you have any questions about just generalized shop stuff, CNC machining, woodworking tools and whatnot, I'm happy to talk about them as well. We're going for about another 5 or 10 minutes. And there we go. And I'm going to mute this real quick because I'm going to use the air hose to blow things off, and I do not want to blast your ears out. My headphones also are rated as hearing protection. I am sorry to hear that, Kathleen. May you have a hopefully a restful and soon to be pain-free evening. You have a good night, and I'm hoping you feel better soon. Let's see. So you can see a little better what I'm doing. All right, that's reasonably close. So, I really like this wood glue. For a straight up wood glue, it's not bad. Good bond, reasonable drying time, sandable, you can clean it up with water. Believe it or not, these are not promotions. I'm not paid. This is just stuff I have read and been learning. And making sure to use the plastic padded cushion side on the side that people are going to see. Let's just adjust this here. This other clamp here. Looks reasonably good, position-wise. Hope you folks are still able to hear me. Okay, got a nice tight there. I'm going to work my way in from the outside edges. So the screws close to the clamp and then work my way in so the additional screws will help. Let's see, was I missing there? Oops, right mouse. Okay. And screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. So I need 7 more. 9. That's what I was talking about, how I don't like it slips with the Phillips head. And if you're not careful, you can strip the head out. And about 6 minutes until Rob theoretically starts, and 6 minutes until I can kind of swear a lot on here if I want to. No, I don't really want to. Today, it's not been a bad day, except for the migraine. And with these screws, I should have to overdrive at least a 1/4 inch before it pops out on the other side. Go. Still don't put my hand directly under it. There we go. There's a little bit of gap on the corners, but the main thing this is for is so that it doesn't warp, and it keeps the center thing from breaking. Now I just need to put my maker's mark on it, which I will probably use Sharpie or paint on it. There's a little bit of a gap there. I just realized that the one I did earlier has not actually clamped. So, go. All right, so back the screw out. All right, so as you can see, there's a bit of a gap here. Apparently, some of the screws, when they reach the gap, pushed apart rather than actually holding. So I'm going to individually clamp at each screw and screw it in so it holds where it's supposed to. All right, so that's nice and tight there. And this is the most spread apart here. Let's go ahead and clamp that together right next to the screw. And there we go. That's looking better. I'll quickly do that to all of these. Should have done that earlier, but like I said, migraine brain, sometimes you don't think of things. And unfortunately, the glue has enough of a drying time that I can still get it to stick without having to towel here. go. Make sure to use the soft end on the side that looks nice. And all right, take the clamp off. Looks much better. Set this down here. Show you lovely folks. There we go. It's not perfect, but it is much, much better than it was before. And I think I'm going to touch up this end. You can kind of see the gap through there. But before I do that, I'm just going to clean off the glue here. I have a little bit of water in this bowl. That's what I brought it out for earlier. All right. It's actually sticking out a fair amount at the bottom here, but I'm not sure I can fix that without a lot more work than I really have time or brain to deal with. Let's see. Well, while I work with that, I'll do that on my own time. Thanks everybody who came by. I really appreciate you folks coming on, keeping me company while I do that. Let me share what I've been doing. And again, I will try and have a stream sometime tomorrow while I'm doing the setups for the Takadai. And as always, stay safe and happy braiding, everybody. I'll see you over on Rob's stream.